Hello friends, welcome to UPSC Logics and my name is Siddharth and today I am going to discuss the 14 points. So these 14 points were Jinnah's answer to the Nehru report and he had proposed these as a constitutional reform plan to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in self-governing India. So as we know, in 1928 an all-parties conference was convened and this was convened to solve the constitutional problems in India, and a committee was set up under Motilal Nehru as chairman and Jawaharlal Nehru as secretary. So this particular committee prepared a report that is known as the Nehru report, and this particular report demanded dominion status for India. Then it said that separate electorates would not be entertained and reservation of seats for Muslims in Bengal and Punjab were rejected since Muslims in Bengal and Punjab were in a majority. So in this report, not even a single demand of the Muslims was upheld. As a matter of fact, this particular report went back on the Lucknow Pact of 1916, where the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League had decided that one-third of the seats in the center would be reserved for the Muslims. So the Muslim League coaxed Mr. Jinnah to draft his own 14 points as an answer to the Nehru report to safeguard the political interests of Muslims in India. Now the Nehru report was discussed in a meeting of the All India Muslim League Council on 9th of March 1929. And this report was criticized by Muslim leaders like Aga Khan and Muhammad Shafi as they considered it to be a death warrant because it recommended joint electoral rolls for Hindus and Muslims. So Muhammad Ali Jinnah also had rejected this report, and in Delhi on March 28, 1929, he announced the 14 points. So he rejected the Nehru report and said that any scheme that was related to the governance of India could not be considered or could not be acceptable to the Muslims until and unless these 14 points were considered. Now let us have a look at the 14 points of Jinnah first and then we shall compare them to the Nehru report, how they differed from the Nehru report. So number one was that the form of the future constitution should be federal with the residuary power vested in the provinces. Number two was a uniform measure of autonomy shall be guaranteed to all provinces. Number three was that all legislatures in the country and other elected bodies shall be constituted on a definite principle of adequate and effective representation of minorities. Number four was that in the central legislature, Muslim representation shall not be less than one-third. Number five was that the representation of the communal groups shall continue to be by means of separate electorate as at present. Number six was any territorial distribution that might be at any time be necessary shall not in any way affect the Muslim majority. Number seven was that full religious liberty, that is liberty of belief, worship and observance, propaganda, association and education shall be guaranteed to all communities. Number 8 was that no bill or resolution or any part thereof shall be passed in any legislature or any other elected body if three-fourths of the members of any community in that particular body opposed it. Number 9 was that Sindh should be separated from the Bombay Presidency. Number 10 was that reform should be introduced in the Northwest Frontier Province and Balochistan on the same footing as they were in other provinces. Number 11 was that provision should be made in the constitution giving Muslims an adequate share along with the other Indians in all the services of the state and in local self-governing bodies. Number 12 was that the constitution should embody adequate safeguards for the protection of Muslim culture and for the protection and promotion of Muslim education, language, religion, personal laws and Muslim charitable institutions, and for their due share in the grants and aid given by the state and by the local self-governing bodies. Number 13 was that no cabinet, either central or provincial, shall be formed without there being a proportion of at least one-third Muslim ministers. And number 14 was that no change shall be made in the constitution by the central legislature except with the concurrence of the state constituting of the Indian Federation. So there were 6 crucial comparison points in which the Nehru report drastically differed from Muhammad Ali Jinnah's 14 points. So number 1 was that the Nehru committee rejected the case of separate electorates, but Jinnah was in favor of separate Muslim electorate. Number 2 was that in the 14 points of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, weightage for minorities was demanded, but Nehru in his report did not compromise with it. Number 3 was that Nehru demanded a strong central government, while Jinnah believed in provincial autonomy. Number 4 was that Jinnah was in favor of inclusion of Muslims in the cabinet, but Nehru was against the inclusion of Muslims. Number 5 was that Jinnah demanded one-third representation in central government for Muslims, but Nehru allowed only one-fourth representation for Muslims. And number 6 was that there was a demand for separation of Sindh from Bombay as in Nehru report as well as Jinnah's 14 points, but they differed in the sense that Nehru's report had put in a condition of self-sufficiency for Sindh to be separated from Bombay, while Jinnah did not mention any such clause. So the 14 points were highly disregarded and rejected by the Congress party. In fact, Jawaharlal Nehru referred to them as Jinnah's ridiculous 14 points. These points basically covered all the interest of the Muslims at a extremely crucial time, and Jinnah stated that it was parting of ways and that he did not want to do anything with the Indian National Congress in the future, and the League leaders motivated Jinnah to revive the Muslim League and give it direction. As a result, these points became a demand of the Muslims and greatly influenced the Muslim thinking over the next 2 decades till the establishment of Pakistan in 1947. So friends, this brings us to the end of this particular topic, and do like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching it for the first time and have enjoyed this video. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the latest notifications from UPSC Logics. Thank you and Jai Hind.